we'll call this my Sugar's birthday failure, I think is what we'll call this video. Hi guys, I'm Rian the BTS Crafter, and today I want to get a quick craft video out. So I kind of only want this video to be like 15-20 minutes long. I want it to be a quick craft. I want to do more of these quick crafts because a lot of my ideas are very much like do this thing, let it dry, come back in an hour or in a day or something. And so this is quick, but it does have some setting time, so I'm sorry. I was in the Range. I don't know if you've been to a Range shop or know of a Range. I was there the other day. And I'm in an hour over whether to try some of this air dry clay that I'd seen floating around on eBay and Amazon, and it's really cheap. It seems to be aimed at children because it's quite easy to use, it's non-toxic, it's not very messy, and obviously it dries, it air dries. You may have just seen, I've literally just finished doing the Koya parfait video. So I was really curious after using polymer clay for so many years, which has to be baked in the oven. I was really curious to try this air dry clay, and at the same time I was looking for something that I could make a kind of a squishy out of. I know the materials you need to make proper squishies, but it's not something I'm prepared to invest in at the moment because I think they're quite toxic materials. And so I'd seen in some of the reviews of this air dry clay that it dries kind of spongy or kind of foamy, and I thought, oh, that's actually going to be perfect. And so I saw these little sets of air dry clay. I'll show you the ones I got. I know they are children's craft materials. So yeah, so I got two, and then that one, because of the colours that were included in them, seemed to be quite a nice mix. So yeah, so this one had a green in there as well. And then this one had this green in there. And then this one had, it's not the brown because I've made a load of the brown. This had yellow in it as well. But I was like, oh, I think it's worth getting for the red and the black and the white. I'll get two and try two of them. And I thought I'd rather spend a couple of pounds just to try this material out for the first time instead of ordering a whole on eBay and Amazon. They seem to be about £10 for like a whole set of loads and loads and loads and loads of colours, and I thought, well, I don't really have room to keep all the pots of clay of all the colours, so I will try this, and I was really pleased to find this, and I kind of want to go back and buy more because I'm absolutely loving this stuff. It's amazing. So yeah, so also other than wanting to try this air dry clay, I really wanted to do something for Sugar's birthday, which at the moment is, it's kind of, it's literally now, it's 3 o'clock now in the afternoon. It's literally now in Korea, it's Sugar's birthday, but the UK it'll be tomorrow. It's the 8th today. Just bought Wembley tickets. Again, hope everyone else got tickets if you tried to get them. We were so lucky this time. We got them within literally 2 minutes. I was so pleased, and we got sound check. So sorry, that's a bit of a smug post. I might edit that out. That's really, yeah, I'm so excited. Well, anyway, we're going back. I really want to do something for Sugar's birthday, and I hadn't had enough time to prepare any of the other ideas that I'd had, and so when I saw this clay, I was like, oh, I want to try this clay, and I'm going to make a little spongy squishy Shooky if it works out. So at this point, literally, I only had like 2 days to figure this out. So I got home and I started to make this Shooky. Because yeah, try and there he is. Not too much. So yeah, so and when you kind of, if you squish his, or actually the back is rubbish. when I squish his, there you go, I don't know if you can see, it does squish, and then it's kind of like memory foam. It just kind of comes back. But because he was such a big potato, when I squished him, he didn't quite come back the same shape. So so yeah, so he needs to be, yeah, he needs to be left for quite a few days to fully dry out inside. So obviously they're little bits, so they'll dry quite quickly, but for everything to air dry properly, he needs more time. So this is 2 days at the moment, and I'll show you. So the back as well, I left it flat on my mat, and it kind of made the back a bit bad. So also don't leave it flat either. This is not the greatest tutorial because this is me also learning this material, and I've so at the moment I've already filmed me making Shooky. I did it the other way around, so instead of doing like making something, trying it out, and then showing you guys, and then going back and showing you how to make it properly, the video you're going to see of me making it, that Shooky was like the second. This was the first Shooky I don't show you. That was the second Shooky I did at the same time, because I wanted one that was slightly bigger. So yeah. I thought this video is going well to begin with, and it is not going well at all. So if I try and get it to focus, so yeah, if I squeeze Shooky for you, now it's split there as well. He does come back up eventually, but not as quick as he should do, and he's not quite set. So after you make your Shooky, if you're going to, because I want to get this video online ready for Sugar's birthday. We'll call this my Sugar's birthday failure, I think is what we'll call this video. This fail, yeah. So yeah, so what I have already filmed and that I'm going to show you how to make is this bigger Shooky, who I love, and his arms. His arms. There we go. You can kind of see. A squidgy, and then go back to normal. I'm too scared to squeeze his whole body because I don't want to ruin him like I've ruined the little mini Shooky. So yeah, so I was thinking these could be kind of glued on if they set properly. I don't know, we'll see. I'll make another video afterwards when I finally squeeze Shooky for you to see, or I'll sort of like add it on the end or something, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But at the moment he's like this perfect, he's this perfect like smooth round, this perfect smooth round Shooky, and I don't want to squeeze him. But I do know when you kind of press him, I don't think he's quite set in the middle. So this clay, if you're doing like little bits, sets pretty quickly. That was set in a day. And then I thought this would be done in 2 days, but it's blatantly not because I've just ruined my mini Shooky. He kind of, with a bit of like squidging about, he does kind of get back to his original shape, but it's not quite what I'm after. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, I showed you the colours I've got. So I show you how to blend the colours to make a Shooky, how to make that kind of like caramelly brown colour. So yeah, so yeah, if you want to make a what should be a squidgy Shooky, and then his hands though, they're quite nice. They're like they are like I'm obsessed with squeezing his hands at the moment. They're fine, they go back to normal, but I think if I squeeze his whole body, he's going to get messed up. Like poor mini Shooky, I just put a dent in his head. You can kind of squeeze it back out, and I also split the back where it's kind of still a bit smooshy inside, not spongy. So yeah, so if you're gonna make anything out of this air dry clay that I'm very new to, disclaimer, yeah, just please be warned that for the bigger items it does take longer to dry. And yes, but yeah, I will make another video of me squeezing him, maybe in like a week. We'll give him a week to dry out. And then I also don't know whether to stick him on the radiator, whether like heat will help him dry out a bit quicker. I don't know, or whether that'll make it crack or whether it'll ruin it. I just don't know. But the finish on this is really, it's kind of velvety. It's really, really nice. So if you like messing with stuff, yeah, I think you'll like this. If you want something to kind of to fidget with, I don't know. Okay, so these are the air dry clays that I got. I just showed you the packaging, and yeah, I'm going to show you how to blend the colours for Shooky. I'll also link in packs of the clay that you can get off of Amazon. You can get like a whole range of colours and stuff. But yeah, I'm now absolutely obsessed with this clay. It feels so nice to use, and it's yeah, it just the foaminess of it, I freaking love it. I think it's amazing. So obviously if you wanted to make a bigger Shooky, you would need to just use more clay, and it would take a much longer drying time. So I'm just going to take out some of the red to blend in to make an orange, and that's the base that we'll start from, is from an orange, because Shooky is quite an orangey brown colour. He's kind of yeah, he's got orangey undertones. So that's a pretty good orange to start with, and then I'm just going to add a bit of this green, this darker green, to hopefully make the sort of the orangey brown colour that Shooky is. What do you guys think? It's kind of a toffee colour, I suppose, is what I would describe it. Okay, so I'm going to take a bit off to mould his arms and his legs, actually. Can't get it together again. Okay, and then we'll make our Shooky, kind of Shooky shape again. There we go. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of black just to darken it up for his arms and his legs, and then his open mouth. Like with the polymer clay, I put the baking paper down. I don't really need that with this clay. The only annoying thing with this clay is it doesn't cut very well. You kind of need to pull it apart and then sort of mold it. So there's a darker one. Kind of want to add a little bit of red into that. It's not quite the tone I want. So yeah, it's really nice, this clay. It's just kind of really light and smooshy. So yeah, so whereas with polymer clay, I would like make the snake and then chop it up for equal bits. It just doesn't work with this. I'll show you actually. They just kind of, yeah, it just doesn't cut through as cleanly. So I'm like, no, yeah, I haven't got time for that. So I want to make some kind of equal sized balls for his arms and his legs. They stick to, you see, look, they just stick together. They do pull apart quite easily, but it is like, ugh. Make these a bit bigger. Okay. Do you want to look even? I feel like these two look bigger than those two. But those two look about the same size. Okay. Right, so I'm going to make these ones Shooky's arms. So I'm just going to make the ball and then roll it slightly so it's like a little sausage. And I'm just going to attach it kind of down here. And then that's it kind of attached now. If you try and pull it off, it'll just stretch. So you've got to make sure it goes in. You can mold it once it's on, but once you stick it on, that's kind of it. And you can also sort of blend it in at the seams like you can with the polymer clay. So yeah, so I kind of prefer around that way now with his arms. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to make his legs. And I'm going to make them kind of a bit, yeah, like that. Okay. His legs are going to be a bit stumpier. And I want to kind of get him in the pose where he's kind of like that. So this leg is a bit longer than this leg. So if you're kind of trying to make it a bit, yeah, so he kind of leans off to the side a little bit. Okay. And his feet a bit. Okay, so what I want to do now is just put a bit so it's kind of dark over his mouth. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the darker clay, make a little snake, and then flatten it down here. So I'm going to try and get the shape of his mouth. Just kind of flat at the top, but then kind of rounded around here. And then I'm going to try and take my blade, and so I get a kind of, I want a more severe edge at the top. Like that. And then I'm going to put, oops, oh no, it's going to stick. Start again. Start again. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Actually, dented that there as well. Okay. Start again. Okay. So like a little sausage, flatten it down, and then which side I prefer. I think that side is looking pretty good, and then I want to just, no, we'll do this one. I'm just going to cut. It doesn't cut quite through, but you can kind of pull it off. I'm much happier with that mouth. So then I'm just going to place it on like that. I got a dent there. How do I get a dent out? Okay, so I'm gonna flatten Shooky's mouth out like that. Is it looking okay? Just feel like he's shouting there. Put the mouth on. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go in with the black now. So we just need a little bit of black, and I'm going to try and get two evenly sized circles for his eyes. His eyes are kind of like the same size, and they're quite big as well. I think I prefer the bigger out of these two. Keep adding little bits until you get the even size. I find with this clay it's easier to add little bits than to take little bits away. So I'm quite happy with those eyes. Make sure they're really round. And then I think they're too big. They might be too big actually. It's a shame. Oops. Yeah, that's better. That's a better size. This one is slightly bigger, I think. So yeah, again, like I said before, do as I say, not as I do, as I take some away. So I'm just trying to try and get even size. It's pretty even, and then I feel like his mouth needs to be a bit bigger. See if I can spread it out. Spread out his mouth a little bit. Making a right big zero of this. Right, okay. I'll make this neater in a minute. So his eyes kind of go not too far above his mouth, and yeah, gonna pop you, just press them down. I think the rounder you can get them, the better it is for him. So for his eyebrows, I want to do the one little eyebrow and then the one bigger fat wonky eyebrow. I'm gonna try and curve it off again. Oh, that came off. Okay. So I want to put one eyebrow above, and it's pretty straight. And then the one bigger eyebrow. I'm going to put kind of off to the side, which gives him his kind of angry face. Okay. Not feeling completely happy with this. It's gonna have to do. So I want to do the outline of his mouth in the black as well. So I'm going to try and roll this out as thin as possible, with enough to go all the way around his mouth. It's a bit harder to make like even snakes with this clay compared to the polymer clay. But we'll try. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. So I'm just going to run it across, and then I want to try and snip it with scissors this time, because I want that harsh edge that is along the top of his mouth, and then try and get this as even as possible. And I want just, so I don't know if you can see, I'm not keeping an eye, see whether I'm keeping you on camera. And I'm just going to try and follow the curve around for his mouth. And then I'm just going to snip, or I think it's going to join. Yeah. That's not too bad, that could be better. And I'm just going to flatten it down. I wish that was a bit more even. Just going to try and take a sort of a scalpely tool, try and make that look a bit flatter. Yeah, I'll do. Okay, so now I'm going to take a bit of the white clay and try and make his teeth. His teeth are quite square, which is annoying for this clay. I was just going to take a tiny little bit, oops, and make a little long bit and flatten it, and then I'm going to try and give it a severe edge. Don't know how successful that's going to be. So, and then his teeth are kind of in the middle, like so. It's not really much point using tools because it's not very precise clay. You just kind of gotta go with it. I find this clay is quite good for the BT21 characters because they are so bold and colourful. So yeah, so that's my birthday Shooky. Try and get him in place. Yeah. And then he'll dry for for 2 or 3 days. Hopefully in time for Sugar's birthday. Oops. You can see it's kind of drying already. It kind of goes this nice sort of smooth, like almost velvety kind of feeling. So yeah, so what I want to do as well is I'm going to try and oops, not let my clays dry out, because I'm going to use more. That's a nice yellow there for a chimmy, I think, and then also if I can keep the white, then that's pretty good for an RJ. Not sure who else I could make with the clay. Oh, I suppose the red would be a Tata. So yeah, so I'm going to try more of those. I'll try and do some more quick crafts with that, so we have a set. So what I want to do is I want to prop it up so it sets on its feet, because if you sort of leave it like that, it'll have a really flat back, and I don't want it to have a really flat back. I want it to stay kind of as round as possible. If I have it. So yeah, so I'm going to prop him up in one of my shelves, so he will if you can see, can only see his one arm, my lighting's not very good. Yeah, so he'll set with flat feet instead. And then also if you do lay something down to dry, the back doesn't dry either. It stays kind of damp, so that's kind of, I think you need the air to get at it ideally for it to dry. So yeah, so warm air. So yeah, so I'm gonna prop him in my shelf, ready to dry, and then yeah, I'll make my introduction video. Yeah, I'm quite happy with him actually. It's quite good. It definitely looks like Shooky. So yeah, so I'll make my introduction video and hopefully he'll be dry and squidgy in time for me to put the video on for Sugar's birthday on Saturday. So thanks for watching my Sugar's birthday fail. And I'll see you in a week for the big squeeze.